Hi, welcome to Theater Crafts, where we take theater memorabilia and we make brand new treasures. So if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you know that I have been going through sheet music and trying to create some really fun projects using some sheet music that means something to me. So I have pulled out a bunch of sheet music and I've created these little, they almost look like, see here, record albums. So on the back here is sheet music that relates to that particular show. All of these actually are holiday songs from the show. So like Meet Me in St. Louis has holiday song, Annie does. I've got Mame here. So, you know, I've got, a Christmas Story here. So what I've done is I've taken the sheet music and put it on the back here, and I've created kind of the logo that looks like the center of a record album. And I've created them so you can just hang them up. You can hang them in your locker, you can hang them on a tree, you can hang them on your doorknob. Be creative. So today we're going to create really fun hanging ornaments with sheet music. All right, let's get crafting. All right, let me show these to you up close. They kind of look like records to me, don't they to you? I think they're really cute. So what I've done is I have an image of the original poster from the show, but on the other side, I have the sheet music from that show. And I chose to keep them rather simple. You can really dress these up if you want. I kind of like that they looked a little bit like record albums. So you see here, obviously, and Annie, this is New Deal for Christmas on the back. We've got Mame and Need a Little Christmas. And then Christmas Story. I didn't have the music for Christmas Story, so I just decorated the back of it. This kind of like makes it look a little bit like an ornament. What I did for this is I actually used gold leaf. And if you've never used gold leaf before, these are very, very fine gold sheets. And I took like just Mod Podge and I put it on the back of this ornament. And then you take the gold leaf and you put it on in little bits. And then you take a soft brush and you just brush it off. And that's the effect that I got for that one. So I really liked that too. Let me kind of clear this out and I'm going to show you how I made them. Okay, so for these, as you may know if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, some of the projects I've been doing lately have sheet music because I just have a ton of sheet music and I have been wanting to create kind of some projects with them so that the sheet music can be used in a different way. So this is sheet music that I had. This is Need a Little Christmas. This is New Deal for Christmas. So I'm going to use those. Then I had these blanks. These, I think I got them at Dollar Tree. And basically, I'm going to take the kind of twine out of that one. And they're basically just cardboard. So, you know, if you don't have this, you can take like a piece of chipboard just like this. And I would literally find, you know, any circle shape that you want. It could be something like this, you know, that my ribbon is on, or any size that you want. Just trace around it, to cut that out. And then if you remember here, it's like a little eyelet. I've got, here's an eyelet setter, and then we've got here, these are eyelets right here. You could literally just set those in there. In fact, let me show you how to do that, just so that if you don't have these, you could create your own. You also don't need to have an eyelet in there as well. You could just punch a hole with a hole punch. So I'm going to kind of just circle this around. Okay, just like that. And then take your scissors. I'm just going to rough cut it first. And then cut right around here. And then if you wanted, you could paint it. You can, you know, if you don't want, like some of the backs of mine have the black on it, but you could put it any color you want. It doesn't have to be the black. These happen to come black, but these could be whatever you want it to be. All right, so you cut that out. And then I'm going to take the eyelet. Okay, so there's the eyelet. This is the front, the flat part here. And you're going to put that down on the shank there, like that. And literally, you're going to put it, if you can see that, and you're going to squeeze. Just squeeze that. And there you go. It'll work just as good as that. Okay, so that's something that you could use if you want. And then, you know, ribbon, you're going to need ribbon. And now for the images, what I did for the images on the front that make it look like the record here, I'm going to go to the computer to show you how I did that. So let's go to the computer and we're going to pull that up in Canva. Okay, so you see here, this is what I have done for the ones that I created. So basically what I did is I uploaded, you can see I uploaded the image from Google. So the Annie poster, the Meet Me in St. Louis, the Angela Lansbury meme, and the Christmas Carol. And so I put those in just a Canva doc. And then I decided that I wanted the image to be about 2 inches around. So then in Canva, I grabbed a frame, a 2-inch frame, and I put it where I wanted it in the image so that when I print it out, I can cut that out. So you'll see here, I decided to add, you know, just Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland there and Annie and then Mame. Now notice, if you notice on here, the poster actually, it didn't kind of fit right in the frame. So I just added a yellow box behind it. And with Christmas Carol, the same thing. I added the red box behind it to make it go along with what it looked like, you know, to make it look a little bit more holiday. So basically I did that in Canva, and then I printed that out on my printer. And I'm going to go to the printer and I'm going to grab those, and then I'll show you how we move on from there. Okay, so here is the printout from the printer and what I was just showing you. So you see here, this is what I was saying, that I basically took the posters that I found online, took a screenshot, put that in Canva, and then found, just uploaded those, and then found a circle frame. And this particular one, I wanted it to be about 2 inches. So that's what I was looking at, you see here. All right, and then I was able to then put that around the part of the image that I wanted to make it almost look like like I said, a record album, which I think is really fun. So we're going to start putting these together. So I have, for music here, I have Annie, and I've got Need a Little Christmas for Mame. So I'm going to cut these out, and just going to rough cut first. I found that doing this back one, page, or the record side of it, was actually better. So I'm just going to cut right around the black. And if you're not exact, it doesn't necessarily matter, because the background's black. Now, if you chose to create your own, like I said, the blank here, then that would be something that if you wanted a different color, you might want to be a little bit more careful about cutting it out. But this, like I said, this is how I chose to do it, but there are so many great options. And I love being able to take, like in this particular case, creating some sort of like an ornament for Christmas using musical theater songs that relate to it. You know, Valentine's Day will be the same thing. Probably July 4th will be the same thing. All of those, you know, fun days. Okay, so now we're going to take the images and we're going to add them to our frame, our little ornament blank here. So I just used Mod Podge for mine, and you know, you can use just a white glue if you want. You don't even have to coat it. Now mine, I did coat. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of a sheen because I used a gloss Mod Podge, but you don't have to. You can use whatever you have in your stash. So I found that it was easier if you put like a really thin coat on the whole thing, just the one side, obviously. And if you put it too thick, sometimes the white doesn't disappear, so you want to be careful about that. So put a thin coat on the whole thing. Now, after you put that coat on, take that image and put it where you want it to be. Now, in my case, I wanted it kind of in the middle to make it look a little bit like a record. And really try to secure that down. I'll get that in there. I'm going to let that one kind of set up for a moment. Cute, cute. And then I'm going to do this one. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to cover, put a coat on top of that as well. I found doing this side first actually was better. I mean, it ended up being fine both ways, but the other side, obviously, you've got the big piece of the sheet music on that. So that does impact how much Mod Podge you're going to put on to make it stay secure. Okay, just, there we go. And meme. Right in the middle. And really make sure you got all of that nice and secure so you don't get any bubbles. That's what I found. The first one that I did, I got bubbles in it. It was this one here. I did this side first, and you can see it's a little bit wrinkly. It's because it got bubbles in there. So get that nice and solid. Looks good. I love that it looks like a record. And I'm just going to add another just small coat on the top. I ended up doing the top coat kind of in a swirl fashion to almost make it look like the grooves in the record. That's just me being a dork, like, honestly. Cute, cute. Okay, and then we're going to do the other one. And then we'll let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll do the back side. Be careful not to put too much Mod Podge or white glue or whatever it is you're using, because it will warp, because it is just, after all, kind of cardboard, so you don't want it to warp it too much. I may have just put too much on as I'm saying that to you. So hopefully that'll dry clear. All right, so I'm going to let those dry. Don't worry about it buckling a little bit. We'll fix that afterwards. All right, we'll let them dry for a little bit, and then I'll come back. Okay, so they have dried, and you see what I mean. I don't know if you can see the ridges there to make it look like a record. I love that. And here we go. There's Annie. They're nice and solid. So now we're going to figure out where we want the image of the music that will go on the back here. So I'm going to put, so I really like we need a little Christmas right here. So I'm going to put that here, kind of where I think I want the image to go. And then I'm going to just trace around. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing with Annie here. getting a new deal for Christmas maybe is where I will put that. Okay, and just want to make sure it's where I want it to be. And then just tracing around. And then we'll cut those out. Okay, so I cut them out, and for some reason my camera stopped. I've already started putting this on, and I will get to that in just a moment and fixing that up. But what we're doing here is we're putting a coat of Mod Podge on the back, and you don't want to put a really thick coat. You do want it to adhere. You want to make sure you get all of the areas because then you don't want to have any bubbles. But you don't want it to be too thick because it is, after all, paper and it could tear. So you want to be really careful. So adding a coat here, and then and then we're going to take our image and just kind of line it up. And if the edges don't line up perfectly, don't worry about that. We're going to fix that afterwards. Okay, so we got, and really make sure you've got this adhered well so that we're not getting those bubbles. Okay, and like I said, we're seeing a little bit of extra there. Don't panic about that. We will cut those off in a moment. Okay. So here's the one I was talking about I had just done. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to just trim the excess around the edge just to make sure that looks kind of neat from the front here. I don't know what is the front. I don't know if the music is the front or the like record album is the front. Your choice, whatever you like. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. Just trim that down. Then I'm going to add another layer of Mod Podge over the top of the music, and that's just to make sure that it is kind of protected. So we're all set there. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to add another layer of Mod Podge over the top, and then we'll let that dry completely, and then we're on the home stretch. So literally just adding a little bit here just to protect it. You may have to add a little bit under the edges again if you didn't get all those edges secured. It looks pretty good here, but you never know. And I'm going to let this dry completely because I'm going to add some color on the top of that. If you notice on the original ones that I did, I just added a border on there, and that's something that you can do. You can add all sorts of elements. You could add color onto the back of it. You could add an image onto the back of it, whatever. Glitter, I thought about putting glitter on it too, but I thought maybe I'd keep this a little bit more restrained because I'm a big fan of the glitter. All right, so I'm going to let this dry completely, and then we will come back. Okay, so these have dried. They look pretty good. They're not, they haven't bubbled up. Like I said, this one here, when I did this first one, it did kind of bubble up a little bit. It looks fine actually now, but it did bubble up a little bit. So what I've done on these is I've actually taken this, it's a large Sharpie, and I'm just outlining the edge just to give it a little bit of kind of like a pop, like almost like a frame. You could do this with a color if you want. You could do it with a trim. I was trying to keep these a little bit more minimalistic, which is such a hard thing for me to do. Those of you who know me, I like my glitz and my glitter. So, but I feel like this kind of frames it out a little bit. And these nice big Sharpies are really fun to use for that. These would be great, like tags for gifts. That would work too. If you've got a, I don't know, a gift swap or something like that, that would be really fun. If you're doing a gift swap with your theater friends, that would be a fun way to incorporate the theater element into your gift giving. And this also helps too if you have some of the white showing from the music. You can cover this up too, so it's kind of double duty here. All right, here we go. So now we're closing in on the end here. So I've cut a couple of pieces ribbon so that we can use these as hangers. So if you're doing a gift tag, you can do it a little bit shorter if you wanted to. And if you're doing a gift tag, you could even write, in like a metallic pen or something like that, the recipient's name. That would be kind of really, really a neat way to use that. You could do it on the back too here if you wanted to. But I love that you can showcase the music and the original production. So I put the ribbon through the hole there and then just tying a knot. I've not been specific about like how long it needs to be. It's totally up to you and what you need. So I thought I've got yellow for MAME since it goes along with the poster design. And again, adding it through and then tying a knot at the top. Okay, double knotting just to be safe. Oops, I just messed that up. Let me do that again. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. And there they are. Those are fun. I love them. I love how they celebrate the shows and the music. And it's got the kind of the idea of like record albums. All right, so please, if you create some of these, let me know. Share them with me. I'd love to see what you're creating. So thank you for joining me for this week's Theater Craft. I will see you next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.